Okay, so our target for today is to start with the next topic, which is introduction to big data and the data analytics. We always have been reading about, hearing about big data. So what exactly do we mean by that? And what role it has to play in this field of data analytics? How exactly the things are being taken care of? What terms and terminology is coming into importance? How are they really taking care of it? Which data is called as big data? If there's something called as big data, there should be something called as small data also, isn't it? So where from this term big data came into existence? So I've given a picture here. If you see on the screen, it says every 60 seconds, there are 1 lakh tweets, 7 lakh status updates, and 11 million messages circulated. Okay. 200 emails sent every 60 seconds. 2000 data, 2000 TB data, terabyte data created. 200 plus new mobile web users are created, and 7 lakh Google searches are being done in every 60 seconds. And we all say, and we know that also, that there is somebody keeping track of all these things happening. That is how they are able to trace frauds or trace issues or trace problems because they're keeping track of things happening around. So imagine the amount of data created nowadays, which did not happen during our childhood when there was no internet, because tweets, status updates, messages, if I talk about WhatsApp messages here, emails, uh, web users, Google searches, nothing was possible without internet, right? So internet is something which is really um, giving a boost to this concept of big data. And because there is so much of data, I need to have a framework when I talk about analytics. If I'm storing so much of data, then what I'm going to do with it? Anna, that is of importance. So data analytics is basically talking about कि इस data को utilize कैसे किया जाता है. Is it just the way it is coming, or the way the data is coming? Is it all in the same format? How is it in the same format, or it is not in the same format? And then ultimately, what do we do with this data? How do we handle it? इतना सारा data 60 seconds में अगर create हो रहा है, तो imagine the bulk of data created every day, day after day, week after week, and month after month. Right? So this is a very, very relevant topic as per today's era, because you people, you youngsters are going to deal with this amount of data and multiplied version of it in the coming days. Right? So the key concepts we cover up here is introduction to the big data, various types, advantages and disadvantages. Everything has an advantage and disadvantage. So we need to talk about that too. What are the basic characteristics? How do I classify something as a big data, or I say it is not? So there has to be some features, some characteristics, some parameters, by which I'm going to judge, yes, this should be considered as a big data or not. So what are those characteristics? Then we talk about the analytics or the analysis of these big data. What comes under that? How do I work with it? What is the meaning of mining data streams? And where lies the future? Okay, these are the basic concepts we are going to work on. First and the foremost thing, what is small and big data? How do I say that this is small and this is big? Right? What are the criteria behind that? So now to understand this particular thing, the best example I can give you is that supposedly I have been uh, visiting McDonald's. I've been visiting shops around my area, market area. And there I find that every shop, the medical store which I go to, has a computerized billing system. Okay, we see that. Like even the eateries I go to, I have a billing system which is computerized. So that is also creating some data which the systems are maintaining for stocks, for reports of the company. Like अगर मैकडॉनल्ड्स को अपना सेल्स देखना है कितने अमाउंट का सेल्स किया आज के दिन में, so it has to keep a billing amount ka data, I mean billing record, isn't it? So that kind of a thing which can be comprehended in a day, in a week, for by certain people, and this is a kind of thing which is a computerized data, a data which is being generated from work which we are doing, and it is pretty relevant kind of a thing. And it can be stored in a normal hard disk of my machine, a 1 TB or a 500 TB का database बना दो, पूरे साल 5 साल का डेटा उसमें स्टोर हो जाएगा आराम से. There's no hassle. Okay. So this kind of a data set will be called as my small data, which is not in millions and billions in one day. Like 60 seconds का जो मैंने तुमको रूल दिया, if that way we are proceeding, तो वो तो एक दिन में ही कितने बिलियन, you know, seconds का, I mean, what do you say? कितने टीबी का डेटा होगा, God knows. Right? So that is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about something which is manageable. And if it is manageable, then I'd say it is a small data. And it can be easily comprehended, understood, read, managed by people. Okay? Now, the big data, what we talk about, is referring to extremely big, large, and complex data sets, which the regular databases which we talk about, MS Access or simple database structures which we have, that cannot handle. Right? You need special tools to effectively utilize that huge chunk of data you are creating. Okay? Like for example, Amazon and Netflix is using the big data to recommend products or shows based on the user's past activity. I keep on watching things every day, whole day. Maybe my TV is on and I'm watching this, watching that in different channels and different places. Now, even like I'm visiting Amazon stores online and I'm buying things and I'm viewing things. So इस पूरी चीज का, when he is keeping a track of all that per user, so many users using these things, and then he is recommending accordingly. You will like this thing, the next recommended show for you is this, etc., etc. So this is something which is based on a very, very big data, because it is basically keeping track of your every second movement, what you're doing. ठीक है, तो small and big data का first of all we should understand the difference. Now, from where are we getting this chunk of data? Where are we getting? Right? We are getting it from various sources. We have been discussing it just now only. So, you can see here, you have the social networks, so Facebook tweets, Instagram, LinkedIn profiles में changes हो रहे हैं, all those things, right? Then you have the multimedia, ये सारा YouTube का data, Prime Video, Netflix, Z, etc., etc., etc. कितना आपका टीवी का है, all the monetary transactions happening through your online transactions, right? So all that is coming under your sources of big data. Internet of Things, आप मोबाइल से अपना AC चला रहे हैं, you're keeping track of what's happening around in your house. Your CCTV coverage, which is intimating you every now and then what's happening in your house, right? So all that mobile apps का सारा data, your what are you searching, what are you seeing, what are you booking, everything is collecting in the form of data and is being accessed, because everything is linked, if you see, to your account. हमेशा आपको एक लॉगिन करना पड़ रहा है, आपका मोबाइल नंबर देना पड़ रहा है वहां पे. योर लॉगिन इज बीइंग योर जीमेल अकाउंट, whichever account you're using, that is through, everything is happening, whether it's a Facebook account or LinkedIn account or a Prime Video account or a Uber account or a you know anywhere, your PayPal account or your Amazon Pay account, everywhere you are using your account. Account means आपका detail वहां पे जा रहा है. An account means there's a track being kept on what you are doing, right? So obviously it is creating a big data. Now, data which is being collected from all these sources, various sources which I'm talking about, are categorized into three categories: structured, semi-structured, and unstructured. We've studied this in class 11th also, but just a reminder with few more characteristics here, like the features which we talk about in terms of aspects, which we talk about in terms of these three categories, is of course definition, the data model being used, the organization of the data, accessibility, and the example. So it's thoda elaborate kar diya, but the meaning remains same. Very simple to understand. When I talk about structured, I mean that the table is in the form of, the data is in the form of tables, rows and columns. बिल्कुल ready data है आपको handle करने के लिए. Like we have learned in the CSV files, the data is there. Or in the SQL tables, the data is there. Or in Excel tables, the data is there. The way banks maintain it, the way maybe your what your telephone company is maintaining it, Airtel is maintaining it, है ना? So that data which is like पूरा tabular format में है, whether in comma separated values like text formats में है या फिर proper tabular format में है. Like CSV को भी हम Excel में खोलते हैं तो वो tabular format में ही हमको दिखता है. So it is a tabular format data only. That's my structured data. Obviously, it's easy to search in that, access in that, because it is organized. It's very well organized. Right? Semi-structured is like a mix kind of a thing. जिसका major role है in your XML files. To some extent, CSV is also coming here if I'm dealing with it directly like that. HTML files, JSON files, XML files, they have a format. It's not that they are not having a format. अगर आपको याद हो, when you created the HTML programs, the tags used to have a format. It was not something which is random. Okay? But it is not as good as the structured one. Yeah. Specific structure में tabular data comes at the top. So that is the best thing to analyze. So this comes in that era. Right? Now comes the unstructured data. No rule, no regulation. आपने जितने गाने सुने, your stream of music, stream of video, audio files, images, PDFs, social media के things, random, tagging, tweeting, this, etc., etc. Random likes, dislikes, something like that. So they are coming under your unstructured data. Fine. स्ट्रक्चर, सेमी स्ट्रक्चर, आंसर. मगर तीनों को डील करने का तरीका अलग है, तीनों को हैंडल करने का तरीका अलग है, because they are not in the same formats. So obviously we have to see how do we work with them. Now, as I said, everything has an advantage and a disadvantage. So what is the basic advantage of big data? Right? देखो, एक simple सा चीज है. For any problem, if you have a detailed explanation of it, a detailed input to solve that problem, obviously you have a better decision making. You'll take a better decision. You're well informed, as we say. Correct? किसी भी चीज के रिगार्डिंग अगर हमें एक प्रॉब्लम का सोल्यूशन निकालना है, एक सोल्यूशन निकालना है, एक डिसीजन लेना है, द मोर डेटा यू आर गिवन, obviously related to that problem, not irrelevant data, it will help you take a better decision. है ना? रैंडम या बहुत सुपरफिशियल लेवल पे अगर वो डेटा होगा तो आपको इंटेंसली वो चीज समझ में नहीं आएगा. लाइक आई गिव यू एन एग्जांपल. सपोज आपको सेल्स बढ़ाना है, देयर इज अ प्रॉफिट लॉस, प्रॉफिट नहीं हो रहा कंपनी में, तो आपको सेल्स इंक्रीज करना है, or whatever you're doing, right? Now, so in order to increase that sales, आपको एक बार देखना पड़ेगा ना कि कहाँ पे कितना सेल्स है, क्या प्रॉब्लम्स है, आप एरिया वाइज उस चीज को एनालाइज करोगे. नाउ सपोजिंगली you are just seeing it in terms of north, east, west, and south overall. Right? Now, North India, South India, West India, East India. There are so many, that's a huge area actually. अगर तुम एक overall सिर्फ North India और South India को judge करते हो कि ठीक है, North India has a better sales than South India for this product, so I should advertise more in the Northern India. Now, Northern India is a huge area. Okay, so that's not something which will help you understand, I mean, work on the basic things. आपको और डिटेल में चाहिए report कि नॉर्थन इंडिया में विच स्टेट्स में भी, इन स्टेट्स में किस रीजन्स में प्रॉब्लम, किस रीजन में है. एवरी रीजन हैज इट्स ओन प्लस एंड माइनस, हैज इट्स ओन प्रोज एंड कॉन्स. अकॉर्डिंगली आप डिसीजन लेंगे. ठीक है. सो वास्ट हो जाएगा वो डेटा बहुत ज्यादा, बट इट विल हेल्प यू improve upon the decision making, better decision making, right? And better decision making is definitely improve the efficiency of the system. Productivity बढ़ेगा. It will lead to more streamlining of the processes. आपको अगर एक इंडिविजुअल चीज के बारे में बहुत डिटेल में पता है तो ऑब्वियसली आप उस चीज को बेटर वर्कआउट कर सकते हो उसमें, है ना. बेटर कस्टमर इंसाइट्स, लाइक ऐसे पूरा नॉर्थ इंडिया का एक सिंगल डेटा है आपके पास, 50% सेल्स हैव गॉन डाउन इन नॉर्दर्न इंडिया. Now that's a very vague idea, right? So you have to go to the detail of it, depth of it, area wise. छोटा छोटा in a state of Haryana, Gurgaon is some, Gurgaon का जो डेटा होगा that will not be similar to the Bahadurgarh data, है ना. The mentality of the people, the kind of people staying there, everything is different. So obviously unka sales figures according to the area will differ, according to what you're trying to, I mean the preferences will differ, so accordingly the things will differ, right? When you move into detail of it, when you get more details about it, individual chota cheeze which you collect, which creates that big data, it will have a better customer insight. It will give you a competitive edge. You will be better placed जब आप हर चीज का छोटा से छोटा चीज का you will take care of, right? And further on lead to better growth. ठीक है. Though the big data is big in amount to deal with, obviously it has a lot of advantages. Disadvantages. Anything which has an advantage definitely has a disadvantage also. What is the disadvantage now? अब इतना जो डेटा हम हर चीज का कलेक्ट करते रह रहे हैं, हमें पता चल रहा है इस बारे में, it is creating privacy issues, security issues, and we are facing those things. We are reading about it every now and then, right? When you are collecting, when you are linked, we say that log out करके रखो हर साइट से, हर वेबसाइट से, हर जगह पे लॉग इन करके मत छोड़ो, because then you are connected all the time. And if you are connected all the time, then people can extract your information. Unauthorized access, breach, everything can be done because you are connected all the time. Fine. So that's the basic major concern of today's world. Security. कब आपकी फोटो लीक हो जाती है, कब आपका वीडियो लीक हो जाता है, it lands up into wrong hands, we don't know. So be very, very careful about it. That is a problem. If Amazon is able to suggest me products which are something related to what I've been searching all day long, it's definitely an advantage for me. मुझे नहीं ढूंढना पड़ेगा, वो ढूंढ के दे रहा है मुझे, है ना. That is happening, it's good for me. But then it has actually seen through what all I've been doing. He's keeping a track of where am I going, what am I doing, what am I searching. That's a problem.
It's not ethical, ma'am, you can say.
That's what. It's not ethical. And if it is still in the hands of somebody who is not trying to misuse it, good. But this kind of information, when goes to people who are not ethical, they're for wrong reasons, so they will use it for destroying. Okay? Then different kind of sources से different formats में data आ रहा है. It's heterogeneous, it's not homogeneous, same type में नहीं है. तो उसका quality ensure करना भी थोड़ा सा मुश्किल है, which you have to check. So there has to be constant check on the quality. That what exactly you are storing. Nonsense rubbish चीजें भी store करने का कोई logic नहीं है ना. तो there's इतना data है तो आपको scan ज्यादा करना पड़ेगा. आपको check करना पड़ेगा हर चीज को, that it should be relevant, it should be good, it should be quality wise relevant. Okay. Definitely. So quality issues are there. And technical complexities is there, of course, to handle so much of data. A normal generic person is not suitable. It has to be specialized skills, expertise required. That's why we say we need data analysts. We need data engineers. We need data specialists nowadays. So many posts have been created, which were not there when we were young, right? So all these things were not there. Now they have come up. Data engineers हैं बिल्कुल proper, right? Then regulatory compliance is there. Data protection charges के against, I mean, data protection laws are there. And if you are kind of going against it, then charges are there. तो जो Google को भी face करना पड़ा है personal data protection के against. So those things are there. You should be able to handle it if you are dealing with so much of data. And of course, cost and the resource intensiveness of it. When I'm saying that every 60 seconds you're getting so much of data, तो उसको store करने के लिए, उसको manage करने के लिए आपको जितना resource चाहिए, जितना I don't know, I should say hard disk space, which sounds small, but आपको storage space चाहिए उतना, आपको उतना electricity चाहिए to maintain that data, to generate relevant information out of it. So all these things are there. This is challenging for smaller organizations with limited budgets. That's why they can't explore much, which big organizations can. So these are the disadvantages. Coming down to the characteristics. Now you have to remember the 6V framework, which we say 6Vs. 6 characteristics are all starting with V. Okay? 6V framework, as we call it. Volume, velocity, variety. पहले ये 3 थे. We used to have 3 V's earlier. Okay? It was not 6 V's, it was 3 V's. That huge volume of data. That's one of the characteristics. It's really huge. Okay, you cannot really judge kitna huge hai. Kitna huge hai. Velocity with the speed it is changing. I'm saying 60 seconds it is generating so much. Imagine. है ना? वो कह रहा है 60 seconds में 7 लाख searches होते हैं. And now it's Google alone generates more than 40,000 searches per second. So imagine for everything now we are searching in Google. Anna, we do it. So those things are giving these features to it. That is velocity. Variety, everything starting from क्या खाना चाहिए, कितने बजे सोना चाहिए, क्या पढ़ना चाहिए. We ask everything and we are talking about everything of this sort in through internet. Whether it is social media sites, whether it is what I should wear, what I should not wear, to what I should eat, to what I should not eat, the way I should style myself in terms of hair, anything and everything. So the variety of data we cannot even imagine kitna generate hota aaj. So volume, velocity, variety is something which was always existing about the data. We have added 3 more to it: veracity, value, and variability. Okay. So veracity basically means ki, how much data is relevant for me. So before storing it, you have to clean the data. That is very important. हर चीज को randomly उठा के store करते रहो, store करते रहो, store करते रहो. That should not be the case. So especially when you're dealing with massive data like this, it has to be cleaned. And if you remember the very first session of this particular year, we learned about handling null values in the CSV files. We did it, no? And we said कि delete कर दो. कहीं पे कोई information missing है तो वो delete कर दो. Drop the nans. Drop the rows with the nan values. That is part of your cleaning, right? So it has to be processed before you store it. That's important. So that talks about the word veracity. Now value. Value is also important because I am storing all this data. I'm doing so much work on such big data so that it can give me some benefit. उसका value होना चाहिए. Value होता है. That's what. So the goal of big data analysis lies in extracting business values from the data. You process it in a manner that it really helps you. It gives you valuable insights. सारी किताबें खरीद के रख दी, सैम्पल पेपर्स खरीद के रख दिया, वीडियोस डाउनलोड करके रख दिया, बट उसको कभी देखा ही नहीं, उसको पढ़ा ही नहीं. अल्टीमेटली तुमने एग्जाम में जाके चीटिंग ही करनी है. और देन व्हाट इज द पॉइंट, है ना? So take the value out of that huge amount of processing and data storage you've done. That is also something important. The variability, the last point. it says that we have to maintain a structure amongst the various inputs we are getting, because it is very difficult to depend on the data, है ना? इतना सारा random, like tweets are also not always logical. Whatever people are writing on the net is not always useful, is not always correct. There's fake content. There's so much of fake content nowadays, you know, circulating. So it's very important that we are checking the variability and extracting the information which is correct, meaningful for me. Okay. So these 6 words can be asked in objectives, can be asked as just name the 6 characteristics of big data, or it can be any single or 2 characteristics to be explained thoroughly. Anything, lot of questions can be asked from there. What you need to remember are the terms also. By the terms itself, you can make out a lot of the meaning. ऐसे याद करने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी. But yes, we have to know what exactly they mean, right? So volume is one, velocity. जल्दी 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 data create होता है. Speed, variety, all sorts of data. Then you have veracity, variability, and the valuation of the data also. Everything we have to see and check. Okay. Now they've given an example. I'm randomly taking an example. They have given all the pointers corresponding to one data. Like this from a book itself. This is talking about the OTT platform on demand drama. Okay, so on this particular platform, the data being generated, uske characteristics. Fine. I would love to see you go through it yourself and analyze and judge what you've understood, whether you've understood or not. It explains the data as per this characteristics. I mean, these characteristics which we have learned about big data. Okay, so that's your thing to do. Now, what is exactly data analytics? अब हमें big data समझ में आ गया कि वो huge amount of data है जो हम various sources of web searches, tweets and videos and images के form में सब कुछ collect कर रहे हैं. It has got a lot of characteristics. It has got a lot of advantages and disadvantages. Where security issues is one of the major disadvantages. We have seen all that about the big data. Now, what is big data analytics? Right? It is basically that when you have collected, processed, cleansed the data and stored according to your needs, after that, what do you do with it? Okay? That is coming and talking about basically big data analytics, right? It says involves analyzing the data sets gathered from different sources, which are in various size from terabytes to zettabytes, to uncover the insights, trends, and patterns. Right? Now, simply from a student point of view, as I was saying, you collected 2, 3, 5 books from the library. You took somebody says very good book. Okay, some uncle of yours gave you 2 more books, practice books or explanation books or encyclopedias, some things. So you have everything with you now. Question paper, sample paper, सब कुछ है उस subject का तुम्हारे पास. ठीक है? Now, will you be able to read through, judge, correlate topic and the questions coming in? इसमें से क्या चीज है, क्या नहीं है? Will you be able to uncover the insights from there? That's important, na? We say na smart way of doing things. सब कुछ है बट उसमें से तुम इन्फर ही नहीं कर पाए ठीक से कि मुझे कितना पढ़ना है, क्या पढ़ना है, किस तरीके से पढ़ना है. क्वेश्चंस को एनालाइज करते हुए टॉपिक्स को देखना है. अदरवाइज दीज बुक्स हैव सो मच ऑफ कंटेंट. 5 बुक का डेटा तो पढ़ ही नहीं सकता इंसान एक सब्जेक्ट के लिए. इतना टाइम ही नहीं है ना? बट आई शुड बी एबल टू मे बी डू अ समरी ऑफ दैट बुक फर्स्ट and see which topics I can extract from here, which will help me. किस बुक में कौन सी चीज सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट है, कौन सी चीज वेल एक्सप्लेन्ड है, उसको देख लिया, उसको ढूंढ लिया, वहां से वो चीज पिक कर लिया, है ना? हम इस तरीके से इंटेलिजेंटली किसी भी चीज को हैंडल करते हैं, राइट? सिमिलरली जब आपने इतना सारा डेटा कलेक्ट किया ना, व्हाट टू डू विथ इट? That is the place where these data analytics engineers and scientists are doing their job. इसमें से निकालो information, निकालो something relevant to the business. Take out that information. Take out what is trending nowadays. What would sell? I have to launch. I want to work with a new product. ठीक है? Now I am giving you the whole data of the universe in terms of everything. What are people searching? They are searching about skin products. They are searching about acne related issues. They are searching about diabetes. They are searching about Ayurveda. What are they searching about? सब कुछ आपने को दे दिया मैंने. ठीक है? अब मुझे मार्केट में एक प्रोडक्ट लॉन्च करना है, एक ऐप लॉन्च करना है. सो व्हाट शुड आई डू? ठीक है, माय पॉइंट है ना? तो हम we will understand the consumers ka mentality, we will understand the consumers ka requirement from that data, and then proceed with my business plan. Right? Every day we come up with, we see new apps coming up, or something coming up like जो cab congregation वाला concept है, ये आपका Ola and Uber जब शुरू हुआ था. These are not new concepts. Then things like Zepto, Blinkit. Suddenly one day we got to know, हो घर में deliver करते हैं, घर में deliver करते हैं. That's so convenient. Amazing. कैसे पता चला? हाउ डिड दैट आइडिया कम टू अ पर्सन्स माइंड कि ऐसा कुछ हो सकता है और उसको इम्प्लीमेंट भी कर सकते हैं? राइट? सो ऑल दिस conclusion, what they come to, is a process, is a difficult process. It involves critical thinking, it involves analytical thinking. सब कुछ को देखो, समझो, करो, and then take a decision. And sometimes it is a flop also. शार्क टैंक में हमने देखा कितने बिजनेसेस को सपोर्ट मिलता है. वेरी लेस, है ना? कितना बिजनेस कैन एक्सपैंड वेल. स्टार्टअप्स तो कितने ही होते हैं, बट एवरी स्टार्टअप इज नॉट अ सक्सेस. ठीक है? बिकॉज उसकी एनालिटिकल टीम ने उसको गलत सजेशंस दिए. एज सिंपल एज दैट. ही कुड नॉट स्टडी द मार्केट एंड द पीपल एंड द मेंटालिटी ऑफ द पीपल वेल. राइट? सो दैट इज द पर्पस ऑफ डेटा एनालिटिक्स. मेकिंग informed decision is my requirement. In order to do that, my big data analytics team, my data analytics team is going to provide me with valuable insights and forecast कि अगले coming days में कौन सी चीज सबसे relevant होगी. Whether it's electric vehicles, whether it is it could be dealing with human psychology or depression or something, mental health. Yeah, the best word to talk about is mental health. Or maybe water crisis, or maybe environmental degradation. What will be the next in thing जिसके ऊपर हमें apps बनाना चाहिए, जिसके ऊपर हमें काम करना चाहिए, जिसके ऊपर हमें business सोचना चाहिए. Okay?
AI? I mean, could phone companies are capitalizing on AI, ma'am.
Yes. So they are implementing, trying to implement the AI concepts in various things. Yesterday I've sent you a video of dustbin having an AI
Yes, ma'am,
concept.
I watched it.
है ना? So
Hmm.
think the way people are working towards it. Different ideas. That's the main thing. इतना स्कूल लेवल पे इन चीजों को इंट्रोड्यूस करने का मतलब होता है just to increase your scope of thinking. That's important. Okay. So that's about your data analytics. And then we move on to the types. Okay. I'll just give you a brief thing before we finish today, and then we'll continue with this in the next class. Different types of analytics are there. Okay. Descriptive, diagnostic, predictive, real time. Then we have cognitive and prescriptive analytics. Now, sounds very confusing, but the term itself will tell you about it. If I say descriptive, कि describe करो data को, what has happened in the past, उसको describe करो. Diagnose करो, why did it happen, कुछ problem हुआ, the market crashed, why, find out. इस तरह का analytics. Predictive, now what might happen, now past 10 days the market has, badly crashed, right? Now what will happen in the next 15 days? क्या होगा? Next 1 month, next 6 months. what might happen. So predictions karna, predictive analysis, right? What has happened, why it has happened, what might happen next. 3 हो गए. डिस्क्राइब करो क्या क्या हुआ है, क्या प्रॉब्लम्स है, क्या हुआ है, क्या चल रहा है मार्केट में, क्यों चल रहा है, क्यों प्रॉब्लम्स हो रही है, व्हाई इज इट हैपनिंग. प्रेडिक्ट करो इन द कमिंग डेज व्हाट विल हैपन. प्रिस्क्राइब करो. नाउ डॉक्टर्स प्रिस्क्राइब यू मेडिसिन, व्हाट शुड यू डू अबाउट इट. रियल फीड्स पे, रियल रिसीविंग ऑफ डेटा पे यू वर्क ऑन इट. And then how do you improve decision making with AI? Okay, this is what we do till today. I'll come down to it. I'll start from here in the next class tomorrow. But all these are your